Hey guys, welcome back to another video. So today this video is kind of different to usual because my normal videos are about like studying and things like that, but today I'm going to be talking about making a diary and journaling and why it is definitely one of the most useful things I've actually done in my life. That's what I'm going to be talking about today. So if you're interested, stick around until the end of the video, and hopefully by the end of the video you're going to be persuaded to start a diary. That is my main aim, but I have loads of different options of things that you can do as well. I'm going to start off by talking about why you should journal, like what's the point, and then talk about how I'm doing it and like some other things that you can do as well. What is actually journaling? What is making a diary? I mean, it's not just dear diary, today I did this, whatever. You don't need to do any of that. You can journal physically or online. I personally, if you've seen in my other videos, I actually have a physical diary where I just keep track of every single day. So all the way back in, let's find my very first journal, all the way back on the 31st of December 2019. This was my very first book that I filled in. This is when I made a New Year's resolution basically to start journaling, to make a diary every day, just because I just felt like the days were going too fast and I just wanted to have something I could look back over. And over time I've noticed that that's one thing that's really good about journaling, but there's so many other things I found out about journaling that's made life so much easier. And yeah, it's genuinely one of the best things I've done with my life, and hopefully I'm going to convince you guys as well. So why should you journal? You can do physically like I am, or you can do it online. I personally prefer physically, purely because like a lot of the online ones are paid. You had to there's a lot of different features that you need to pay for, which is annoying. But another thing about doing it physically is I like the fact that I can draw diagrams, I can make everything my own way, if that makes sense, rather than just writing in a document. Like that I wouldn't really want to read over again. I would just write it and never see it again. This though, sometimes I just look over it and I just see some random drawing. I'm like, oh, this is kind of interesting. What was I on about here? And then I just go, oh, it's that day. Oh, I remember now. Obviously, one major drawback of journaling is that over time you get a lot of books and it gets really difficult to navigate between certain days because of all of this. That's a lot of entries. So I've been doing it for how long now? 3 years? That's actually insane. I still remember when I first started this all the way back in December 2019. Imagine you got to know how you felt on the very first day of year 7, for example. It's just nice reading about that. And one thing that I was really lucky to document is lockdown, because obviously back then I didn't know lockdown existed. I've even got entries where I'm there was this person talking about this COVID-19 thing. I don't know what it is, but I don't care. And then I remember the very first day of lockdown, I wrote about it, and I was like, oh, we have 2 weeks of no school. That's so good. I love that. But then, yeah, reading back over that, it wasn't 2 weeks. It was nearly months. It was months of staying at home. And it was just funny because a lot of people, when they think of lockdown, me included, it just feels like one massive blur. You can't really think of what you did. And so the fact that I've separated everything out into days makes it so much easier to see what I actually did and see that there was much more to lockdown than just sitting at home and doing nothing and playing games, especially during the lessons. I didn't do that. You didn't hear anything. So the way I do it is, for every day, at the end of the day, I just write one page of, it doesn't have to be a full page, it's just each page is dedicated to a single day, and I just write about what happened. Some days are really anticlimactic, nothing happened in them, but I still just write how I'm feeling, what happened in that day. It's really annoying trying to navigate through all of these. So what I've done is basically at the start, when I finish yikes when I finish a journal, so for example this one, they're all really bad. I just got them from Poundland and just wrote in them. It doesn't have to be any of those really expensive fancy journals or anything, but what I've done is, once I've finished with a book, I've got the date when it started, the date when it ended, and the age that I was during this journal. So in this one I turned 14 in this span of time, and I can just at the very start, basically I've got this list of significant dates. So for example, I can see the half-term holidays happened in this one over here, and what I can do is I can just go straight to the date. So in this one it starts on the 22nd of May, and if I just really wanted to see what I was doing in those holidays, I can just go straight there, which is kind of nice. And this was the day 21st of July was when I first hit 100 subscribers. That is kind of insane. For those 100 OG subscribers, thank you guys so much. It's actually so nice. Oh, I've also got braces here as well, 29th September. If you haven't noticed, I have braces, and let me actually go to that page. Let's see what I thought of them. The braces are on, and I look weird, and I feel weird. They're really uncomfortable and really painful. Yeah, it's just me complaining about how painful they are. To be honest, still the same. Yeah, I've got like this one's really thick. So this is diary 4 right here. I've got diary 7. This is the one I'm currently on and the one I'm filling in. They're all like, they've all got like a different style to them, which is kind of nice. But over time, they've become more and more like developed. But every page now, what I've done is I have out of 10 how nice that day was. So I've only gotten like probably like 3 or 4 10 out of 10 days. Those were like amazing days. Like everything in them, it just was so great. I loved them. I think the lowest I've gotten was like a 4 out of 10 day. I don't even remember why, but it was something dreadful. Who knows? But yeah, so it's just nice knowing what happened. And what I do is at the when I finish writing a journal for a specific page, at the top I've got like key events on that day. So whenever I'm quickly skimming through, I can just see what key stuff happened on that day. So sometimes one thing that I find really useful is, especially when I'm like nowadays I'm like building up my CV and things, right? And I need to see when I started a specific work experience and when I ended it, for whatever reason, to put it on my CV. I can actually see the specific dates now, because I can just go back in time, check my journals, and then see, oh, okay, I started it here, I've ended it here. So it's actually really useful for finding specific dates as well. So that's why I would say it's nice having like a track of everything that's going on. Obviously, you don't have to do what I'm doing. You don't have to talk about like what happens in the day or something. You can if you want. Just bullet point just certain key events. Or I also know that another way of doing it is just having a journal for key stuff that happened in your life. So for example, if there was one really memorable day that you didn't want to forget, you can just journal that. You don't have to do it every day like I'm doing, but I just really wanted to do it like this because when I started, I had the vision of just having like a stack of books and being able to just open any of them and just seeing what I felt that day. So let me just do that. Let me just go to a random page somewhere. Let's go for diary 4 actually. So this is the one where I was, I turned 15 in this one. So let's just open a random page. Let's go for this one. 17th of June, 2021. Oh, okay, this is the day I went to, so for geography, right, we had field work, then we went to a river. Okay, so basically what happened was we were busy pushing each other into the river, and there was like a bit of like quicksand type of thing, and like I was just sinking and that, and I couldn't get out. And so like I remembered my like random YouTube knowledge of just watching a video of how to escape quicksand, and it was like you have to slowly lift one foot and then the other one, and I did that. And it actually worked, and so I wasn't stuck there forever, so that's nice. And another thing I've really been like told is like, what am I actually meant to write about? Like, what do I say? That just comes over time. Like at the start, just write about what happened in your day, how you're feeling, and stuff like that. But over time, you'll have like more of an idea like of what to write and what things you want to like keep track of. And so like, yeah, it's just really up to you, to be honest. So another thing I can now do is, because I've got like an out of 10 rating for every single day of my life, what I can do is I can input that into a Google Sheets if I'm really bothered to, and make a graph of my life and see how happy I've been, and then compare that to certain activities I've done and see what activities make me the most happy. So if I am really bothered to like go into all of that, I can technically do all of that and see what things actually make me happy and what things don't. So yeah, that's kind of interesting. I haven't done it, and I'm not bothered to in a long time, but I could eventually do that if I have that much time on my hands. There's also a nice app that I've downloaded quite recently called, like, I think it was like 1 second every day or something. And basically in the app, what you're basically doing, I'm saying the word basically way too much, but you basically you film like 1 second of something that's going on in your life, and over time you get this movie of just like 1 second, 1 second, 1 second every day, and it just ends up being this nice like related form of videos where you can just like look back over it. It's just like, I would say just try and have something that you can look back over, whether it's like a few videos or something, or at the bare minimum just take photos as much as you can. Like, it's something that I've only started doing quite recently, but just whenever you're going out, whenever you're doing anything, even if you're just like having a walk, right, just take a photo of something random. It makes you remember that event so much more. And I mean, yeah, it is one thing. Don't fill up your storage if you don't have enough, but just taking photos is a really nice way to keep track of things as well. And so I really recommend that. The last thing I want to leave you guys with is a website called Future Me. Basically, this one is definitely one thing I really, really want you guys to do. And what it does is you can send yourself an email to yourself in the future. So, for example, what I did was for my GCSE exams, I made an email, like when I was doing my GCSEs, I sent myself an email to myself on results day, just going, oh, I'm putting in so much hard work for you right now, so I'm really hoping you get the grades you want. And like I was just wishing myself good luck and things and stuff like that, right? And like on the day I was really nervous and things, and then I just received this email out of nowhere, and I'm like, oh yeah, I wrote this. And like it's just, that feeling is just something, just, it's amazing. Okay, so what I've done is I've used this website. I've made like a ton of emails. I've just sent them to random times of my life, and one of them I still know, I remember, I think I've sent it on my 18th birthday. I think I've sent quite a few actually on my 18th birthday, so that's going to be quite interesting. Yeah, if you stayed until the end, thank you so much. If you can, make sure you like this video as well, and maybe comment something down below as well. Make sure you start writing a diary if you can, or just go on to Future Me, send yourself an email, and yeah, I'll see you again next time. Bye for now.